Hello, Simon Kids subscribers. Welcome to Read and Learn. My name is James Ponti, and I am a middle grade author. I write book series. I wrote the Dead City series. I wrote the Frame series, and right now I am writing the City Spies series. City Spies is the story of 5 kids from around the world who travel on these adventures. They have been recruited and they become a family of spies. They're adopted by a British spy and they become a family of spies that go on these secret missions that where adults would stand out. MI6 sends them in, and it's so much fun to write these adventures. And in the newest one, the story takes place in London, in Scotland, in Moscow, in Russia, and in Beijing, China. That's all over the world. And I wrote it from here in this office, and I wrote it during COVID, which meant I couldn't go to those places to do research. So I had to figure out new and creative ways to figure out what those places were like so I could make them real on the page, so I could take advantage of what they had to offer and really give a full adventure. And this one takes place in Russia, like I said, is a big part of it. And I had an idea for a plot which I wanted to do, which is I wanted to use what's known as a Matryoshka doll or nesting doll. And they open up and inside there are more, and I thought it was just like the secrets of a spy story, is that inside the doll there are more. And actually I ended up getting a special doll made by an artist in Russia. It is my City Spies Matryoshka doll, and it's a big wood doll. You can hear, and if you open it up, there are surprises inside. So this one opens up. Oh, opened up more than I wanted. And inside here, the first one you see is, this is Brooklyn. She is a computer hacker, and she's called Brooklyn because the characters use, there we go, get that lined up right. The characters use as their code names the cities where they're from. She's from Brooklyn. There's the Brooklyn Bridge. There's Brooklyn. Inside of Brooklyn, here we have the next spy. This is, well, you can guess his name when you see the background, right? This is Paris. And Paris is a chess wizard. He's amazing and brilliant, and chess is a huge part of this plot. And for that, I got help from the U.S. Chess Federation. They gave me some expertise and answered all my questions. The rebel of the group, the real kind of action hero, is Sydney. Here's the Sydney Opera House in Australia. Sydney is so much fun to write. And there we go. You see Sydney. And the magician was literally a magician. This is Rio. Rio is from Rio de Janeiro. There's the Christ Redeemer statue back there. Rio is really great with sleight of hand and tricks, which is important for an agent. In fact, when the CIA, early in its formation, they hired Harry Houdini's best friend to write a manual and teach magic tricks to the agents. And then finally there is Kat, and Kat is the code breaker math wizard of the group. And there's a great code at the heart of this book. And so I have these 5 spies, these great kids, plus the adults in their life, Mother and Monty. I have these amazing locations, Beijing, Moscow, London, and then I sit in this room and I get to try to come up with a great adventure for them, an amazing trip and journey for them to go on. And I'm going to read to you from the latest one. This is City Spies Forbidden City, and I'll read just a little bit from the first chapter, which is called Billionaires Row. It gets its name from that special street in London where all the billionaires and royal families and embassies are. It was dark, and as Paris looked out at the traffic, he caught a glimpse of his own reflection in the mirror in the window. There was nothing remarkable about his face, no feature or quirk someone would notice or remember. He'd been born in Rwanda, grew up in Paris, lived in Scotland, and was now in London. And in each of those locations, he'd learned to blend in and disappear. This was an important quality, because Paris wasn't just a schoolboy. He was also a spy. Blending in was essential. Unlike spies in movies whose modes of transportation range from jetpacks and mini-submarines to bulletproof Aston Martins tricked out with rocket launchers, he was headed to his latest mission on a city bus. The number 70 to South Kensington, to be precise. That was the problem with being undercover and underage. You always needed somebody else to give you a ride. This is pathetic, he said, turning to Kat, who was sitting next to him. Absolutely pathetic. What is? She asked. He looked around to make sure no one was listening, and then leaned in to whisper. We're about to break into one of the most expensive homes in London to steal a priceless work of art, and our getaway car is a bright red double-decker bus that does a max speed of 5 miles an hour. Cat laughed, which only frustrated him more. First of all, we're not stealing it. We're returning it, she answered in equally hushed tones. Or have you forgotten about the little treasure that's been sewn into the lining of your jacket? Secondly, once you've put it back, why would anyone bother to chase us? Logic dictates that our getaway vehicle is irrelevant. He nodded reluctant and admitted, Okay, you may have a point there. Of course I do, she replied. Your problem is that you think being a spy is like being in an action movie. It's not? No. It's like eating in the lunch hall at school. How do you figure that, Ria? How do you figure that? Paris asked. You pretend you belong and hope nobody notices while you figure things out, she said. Not to mention, there's a decent chance that the food's been poisoned. He chuckled and saw that they were nearing their stop at Notting Hill Gate. Finally, this is us. He stood up to leave, but she stayed put, blocking his way. I'm not moving until you say it, she said firmly. Paris was the alpha, which meant he was in charge now they were in the field. It also meant he was the one who was supposed to say the phrase that officially started the missions. It was as much good luck ritual as it was an operational command. Here, he replied, on the bus. Don't knock the bus, she said. James Bond was named after one just like this. What do you mean? When Ian Fleming was writing the first Bond book, he lived out in Kent and had to ride the bus back and forth to London, she explained. And, he replied, not getting the connection, the bus from Kent to Victoria was number 007. You're joking, he said. No, that's where he got the name. And if it's good enough for Ian and James, it's good enough for you and me. Well, if you put it that way, he flashed a sly smile and said, This operation is hot. We are a go. And that is the beginning of an adventure that is going to take you around the world, involve a boy band, a billionaire, a nuclear scientist, an international chess tournament, all kinds of excitement, some laughs. There's a major storyline about blogging, about all sorts of things, and it is so much fun to write. It is so much fun to go on these adventures with the 5 members of the City Spies, and I hope you find it fun too. So thank you for joining me today on Read and Learn. It's Simon Kids, and have a great and wonderful day, and have a lot of books, because books make the world go round and make everything go better. All the best.